Good morning. This is The Drink, where we talk about environmental issues and solutions over a couple nice, refreshing beverages. With me today is Erin Murphey. How are you today?
Good.
We're on the freaking Caribbean. How is it not a great day?
Yeah, exactly.
So, Erin, if you can, just introduce yourself a little bit really quick, and then we'll go from there.
So, I'm Erin. I'm a student at the Marine Academy in Technology and Environmental Science, mates in Manahawken. It's run by the VOTEC program, and we do a lot of research there on various topics. So I chose to do stuff around biofuels and biodiesel.
Oh, cool. Nice. So, what kind of, have you done any certain projects lately revolving around biodiesel?
Well, I've done two projects. My first was about growing algae, because you need to be able to grow enough algae to make it sustainable and make sure that everyone has enough to do what they need to do. Otherwise, it would not be feasible. So what I did was I grew algae for about 2 months using different fertilizers. These different fertilizers were nitrogen-based, phosphorus-based, and potassium-based.
Okay.
So I grew them in a bioreactor, and so at the end I measured my results using a fluorometer that measures how much the algae will fluoresce, and if it fluoresces more, there's more algae. So my results...
So fluorescent is just, shiny. The more shiny it is, almost
basically
the more glowy
it lights it up and it glows. So the phosphorus fertilizer actually grew significantly more algae than nitrogen and potassium, which can also be linked to eutrophication and the amount of phosphorus in the water.
Oh, really?
Yeah, so there's other ways to use that research.
What exactly is eutrophication again?
So eutrophication...
I've been out of school for a little bit, so...
No, it's fine. Eutrophication is when there's too much nutrients in the water. Plants will use that nutrients and grow, and organisms like algae will grow too much, and it will cloud up the water and use up all the carbon dioxide and create too much oxygen, and it will cause fish to die.
That's not cool.
Yeah, it's very detrimental to an environment.
Yeah, it sounds like it. Jeez. Alright, so getting back to your whole algae experiment, so kind of give us a rundown on how that happened.
So
were you in a team? Were you riding solo? How was that working?
Yeah, so at my school, our freshman year, we do a freshman research project. It's required for all freshmen. So I did mine on algae, and so I grew the algae. I created a bioreactor, which was these buckets that had 1 liter of water and about 5 milliliters of algae added to it. And then I added fertilizer, different concentrations. And so they grew over 2 months. And then I measured using the fluorometer. And then I presented the research at our freshman research expo and the Jersey Shore Science Fair.
Oh, sweet. So, how did that go? Did you win?
It went all right. No, unfortunately I didn't. There were a lot of other students from my school in the category, so...
Oh, gotcha.
Yeah.
Alright, so then you said that it was different types of fertilizers?
Yeah, so I had a nitrogen-based fertilizer, a phosphorus-based fertilizer, and potassium-based fertilizer, and then I had a control to compare to. So the different fertilizers and different compounds are used for different things with the algae. So you can add these fertilizers to enhance the growth of the algae to make sure you have enough.
Oh, cool. Yeah, gotcha. So, which one? I mean, obviously you're still going through what your experiment was. So
yeah.
Keep on. So which one kind of grew the most, I guess. So I'm jumping ahead of everything.
No,
it's fine now.
It's fine. No, so the phosphorus fertilizer grew significantly more than the nitrogen and potassium. The potassium actually decreased the amount of growth when comparing it to the control. But but then nitrogen was second. So that can explain like different laws surrounding the two fertilizers of phosphorus and nitrogen.
That's really cool. So like, so the whole experiment, did you have it, in like little, I assume it wasn't in like little, the plates or anything, it was like a pretty
it was
big thing, or?
No, it really wasn't that big. It was sitting in the back of the classroom at school, where it was actually kind of cold, so it didn't grow a lot. So yeah, it was just about containers this big. There were 10 of them.
Oh, okay.
All different fertilizers.
All right, so then like, so you had all the different types of fertilizers in a row, comparing them.
Yeah.
Like, keep going through your experiment where we left off and everything. So like, we left. So you have the 3 different fertilizers and everything.
Yeah.
What happened?
So the algae grew and it did its thing. It used the nutrients to grow. Some were greener than others.
Some were more fluorescent than others.
Yeah.
Fluorimeter, yes.
There really wasn't too much to this one besides growing it and then measuring it. It sort of did its thing on its own.
Oh, so then is this part leading up into your second project?
It can. So then I was lucky enough to continue doing research. So my second research project, which I did this year, my sophomore year, was comparing diesel to biodiesel. And because if it's not... So what I did is I measured the energy released from the 2 fuels, because if biodiesel can't live up to the standard of diesel fuel, people are not going to purchase it, and it's not a feasible solution to this issue of running out of fossil fuels.
Yeah, I do like lower gas prices as much as the next person does.
Yeah. So what I did was I had to make the biodiesel. So to do that, I mixed methanol and sodium hydroxide together, and then I added vegetable oil to it. And you heat that up for 30 minutes, and after a while, you'll see 2 layers form. The top one's going to be your biodiesel.
Okay.
And so I removed that from the mixture.
Yeah.
I'm sliding. It's a boat.
Very rocky. As you can tell, our boat's like this the whole time.
Yes. So then I burned each of the fuels in a calorimetry test in a calorimeter that I made using regular cans, soup cans.
I guess that measures calories.
Yeah, or you can.
Or
The way
energy,
I
rather.
did it, you can make it measure calories. It's just another unit of energy, so I measured it in joules.
Okay.
So because there's not, so I measured my results using the specific heat equation, which is specific heat times the mass of what's being heated or burning, and times the change in temperature. And because there's no,
I remember physics now and chemistry.
yeah, it comes back to all the the stuff you learn in school.
Yeah,
So,
seriously.
all the so there's no specific heat specifically for diesel and biodiesel, so I heated water because we know the specific heat of water. So I heated 100 milliliters of water, and then using the change in temperature, I was able to calculate the amount of joules that were
That's
released.
awesome.
Yeah.
So what did it amount to?
So in general, the diesel fuel released more energy than the biodiesel. However, when comparing the joules per gram of fuel burned, the biodiesel performed significantly better than the diesel.
Oh, really?
Yeah. So it is a viable solution.
It is a viable solution.
Yeah, based on energy at least.
Well, yeah, based on energy, because there's other factors that go into that, like,
Yeah.
whether it, works with our current motors or what have you.
Yeah, and then whether the public's willing to buy into it.
Yeah, because that is definitely a different thing than we're used to, because we're all used to, like, the combustible engines and stuff like that, so.
Yeah.
I mean, we are going toward electric, which is great.
Yeah, so.
But, so it is for, like, competitive market and everything like that?
Yeah, so what I did is I compared the energy to the current market prices. The prices I got were from in October.
Oh, okay.
So the biodiesel was about $3.38, and the diesel fuel was about $2.79. So when comparing energy, the biodiesel is actually 1 cent less than the diesel, which means that it could be competitive on the market and be at a lower price than current diesel fuel.
Yeah. Sounds like the biodiesel is a lot more expensive though, right?
It is. It looks expensive, but based on the amount of energy you get from it, it's better.
Oh, it is? Is it like almost like getting double what you pay for it almost? Or like,
No,
well, probably not like that, but you know.
No, but based on the energy, it will be 1 cent less.
Oh, okay.
So that was cost per the amount of energy was the unit for that.
Yeah.
So that would be 1 cent less. 1 cent less for the biodiesel.
Alright. How long did it take you to build? Just some questions I have for you. How long did it take you to build the bioreactor?
Okay,
That
so
sounds like really complicated.
yeah. So for my first project, it took a few lunch periods because I had to do this all during our 40-minute lunch period at school. So it was really just taking buckets. I had to wash them out and then fill them with 1 liter of water, and then add the different fertilizers in the different concentrations, and then add the algae. And then there were a few things along the way, as in such adding aerators or light to
like
it.
the pumps and filters and all that kind of stuff? Or?
Not really filters and pumps, because you want it all to stay in there. I had to add aerators for it to get the carbon dioxide used for photosynthesis.
Gotcha. Oh yeah, so you didn't need that to like stay in the sun to obviously build
it wasn't in the sun. It was sort of in the back of the classroom, so I had to add a light to it.
Yeah, I was gonna say you have to add a light source to it. Nice.
Yeah.
So with all this biodiesel and efficiency, can you see this happening in the next few years?
I'm sure it will become more prevalent. Whether it's
based on your studies, of course.
Yeah, it will become more prevalent as more research is done into it. The only issue is that not all motors, biodiesel is not good for all motors, so there may be different blends or modifications that will need to be made to certain motors. Basically, it'd be the same type of motor you would need for vegetable oil. Or
Do they have those yet?
yeah,
they have those, right?
Yeah, there are trucks that can run on vegetable oil.
I gotta get me one of those. So, yeah, because I would like to see these kind of motors out in the next 20, 30 years.
And people might say that biodiesel is going to add more to the carbon dioxide in the atmosphere, but if it's made from algae, which produces most of the oxygen that we breathe, that it will use the carbon dioxide emitted from the vehicles in photosynthesis to produce more oxygen.
Also, it would actually
so it can
decrease the carbon
depending
in a way.
on how it's made, it can either be carbon zero or even carbon negative. Some companies claim.
Also, like it'll actually like pull the carbon from the atmosphere or whatever into the.
Yeah.
That's really cool. That is really cool. I'd love to see that happen soon.
Yeah.
Really happen. All right, so I had one more question. I forget what the hell it was. So like just to like give me a little bit more perspective on how like big this whole experiment was. I know it took you a few lunch periods to like build the reactor. Like how big was the reactor though? Like was it, kind of give me like
so each
a
bottle
picture.
Was about this big.
Okay.
It was
so
in
it was
an
kinda
area
small.
probably half the size of this table. So that wasn't that big. I probably could have done more, or should have done more trials to get
How many trials did you do?
So for that, I only had enough time and space.
Well, yeah,
to do
you only have so much time for 40 minutes and stuff like that.
Yeah, so I only had
whatever.
The time and space to do one trial because that's to grow for 2 months. But with the biodiesel, my second research project, I was able to do 6 for each of them.
Oh, cool. That's really awesome.
So that chemistry is a little easier than growing things, so you get a lot more done in less time.
That's really cool. So are you, from all this working on all these projects, like are you doing another one like to keep on doing this, or is
so-
it kind of just...
I'll probably do 2 more research projects in my high school career, and then college, and we'll see what that brings. I'm currently trying to figure out what I'm going to do for my next project.
Yeah.
It's part of my
cool.
midterm. So.
Well, you have to keep me updated on that, because I'll have you on the show another time when
Yeah.
you're done with that. All right, so that's the end of our show with biodiesel and diesel. So, no, thank you so much for being on the show, Erin.
Thank you for having me.
No, pleasure was all mine. So, this is The Drink, where we talk about environmental issues and solutions over a couple nice adult beverages, even though water is not an adult beverage, but I have some anyway. Thank you. Would you like some water?
Oh, it's soda. Okay.
Oh, it's soda. Nice. Well, here's the drink.
Boat. Good drill.
Yeah, we're good. Your experiments that you've already done with algae and biofuel. Well, you said you're in high school, right?
Yes.
What year are you in?
I'm a sophomore right now.
Oh, you're a sophomore right now.
Yeah.
Oh, so you got plenty of time to keep on doing more projects.
Yeah.
So what kind of experiment or kind of project are you thinking about now? Since are you done with those?
Yeah, so I just finished up the other one within the last month, with presentation and everything. So now it's time to start thinking about my junior year project. And I'm thinking about doing something with maybe like water filtration and
That'd be cool.
things like that.
Water filtration.
So-
I would like to film that one.
Yeah, so I have to really look into it. This idea popped in my head the other day, so I got a lot more research to do on that.
So like water filtration, the typical separating salt from the salt water.
Yeah, I'm gonna try to do that because that's a very difficult process. Issues like saltwater intrusion, where saltwater contaminates freshwater sources as more of the fresh water is being used. And because eventually we will need more water and we will run out of fresh water. So in
that's
places
not good.
where you don't have a lot of fresh water, there needs to be other sources, because it can be very expensive to make desalination plants or other solutions, and it's very energy intensive as well.
Yeah, that it is. Excuse me. So where do you So what other like water kind of experiment? So obviously there's water filtration. I'm assuming that you can do green barrels or something like that.
I'm looking specifically taking ocean water, or how we have a water maker on board.
Wait, weren't we talking about this yesterday when you were like, oh yeah,
Yes.
the whole seawater taking the fresh water? Was it the Running Bay or something like that?
No, it's in Cape May. There's a lot of saltwater
that's right,
intrusion
that's right.
issues. So that's sort of where this idea popped in my head from that project, that school project.
Oh, gotcha. So what are other since you're only a sophomore in high school, what are you involved in any other outside organizations or activities or anything?
I'm involved I'm a leader at Project Terrapin. I'm the care manager, so I keep inventory for our turtles that we have at school.
Oh, turtles.
Yeah.
Turtle.
Yes. Yeah, there's an island called Sedge Island at Island Beach State Park where the terrapins will come up and they'll lay their eggs. And we'll take them, and it's part of our program called Hatchling Head Start, where they'll take the hatchlings and they'll send them to different schools where they'll grow for a year, and then we'll release them in the spring. So that should be coming up in a few months.
Oh, so they're in little captivity.
So they're in little beds swimming around the water, eating they have rocks and heat lamp, and they just do their own thing. And so
awesome.
because about terrapins will make it. So we take them and let them get a little bigger for the year and a little bit stronger, so that way they're not as easy to capture. They're a little more captured.
Oh, that's nice. That's nice. So, with like, what's the ratio of survival rate, if you will, like after they hatch? Isn't it like half or something like that? Like for turtles?
It's less than that. It's I forget the exact statistic. I should know it. It's, I'm gonna say maybe like 1 out of like less than
like
1
or something
per.
like that? Like if say
less
20
than
year hat, say 20 year laid,
Yeah.
20 year hatch.
It can be less than 1 per clutch, which is the amount of eggs laid by one female.
Yeah, 'cause they always like race to the ocean anyway too.
Yeah.
Obviously,
There's
predators
that.
are looking out.
Yeah, predators looking out. There's predators in the ocean. One of the big things is actually human interaction, where you have a lot on like the beaches along the shore. There'll be laws where you can't have any outside lights on after a certain time, because the turtles will get distracted by that and won't go into the ocean. They'll follow the light instead.
Don't follow
there's-
the lights.
Yeah, because they're supposed to be following the moonlight and not the human light. Another one is motorboats. Not necessarily the hatchlings, but the bigger turtles, they'll get cut by motors.
They get cut by the props, right?
Yeah, the props. And that goes for other animals such as like manatees. They've had issues with that.
Did we just see a manatee the first day of this?
No, that was a ray.
Oh, what
A
am I
manta
thinking?
ray. I said actually.
Oh no! You did say. You almost said
I
that.
couldn't think of the right name. I was just so overwhelmed.
Oh yeah, because I was in Apple Bay the first day, and I missed that.
Yeah.
Oh well, we'll survive. So how long have you been with the Terrapin group?
So I've been part of it since my freshman year. I'm part of their care sector, who takes care of the turtles and terrapins that we have at our school.
So you got little squirts from Finding Nemo just floating around.
Yeah. Not sea turtles, but
Well, true.
we have terrapins which are brackish water.
What does that mean?
So it's mixed with salt and fresh. So it's
okay.
not like the really salty ocean water. It's not no salt fresh water. It's
Oh, so it's like a happy medium kind of thing?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, we have some ready sliders and various turtles that people will collect and bring to our school, which
Have you done some like, not experiments, but like, research with them? Or?
I personally have not done research with them, but there are the person who's in charge of the organization, Dr. Wennick, that a lot of people around the Bargain Bay and conservation organizations will know. He is in charge of doing research, and he'll go out every summer and do research with them.
Oh, cool. So it takes just like groups of people every couple of weeks or whatever.
He has interns and stuff like that will help him do stuff. Out on Sedge Island, there's people, and there's other groups that do research on terrapins and turtles in general.
Yeah, I think Friends of Island Beach and well, obviously other groups such as that do that. That's awesome. That's really cool. So where are you trying to like grow up that little club ladder, if you will? Like, are you trying to like do more with that, or just kind of stay at?
Yeah, I'm trying to do a little bit more with that.
It's so cool.
Yeah, where
That's
I am,
really
I have. Well, last year I had to do it every day. In the beginning, this year I do it every day, but now I have some other people under me that we break it up a little bit and get some more time during lunch.
That's awesome. So are you part of like other organizations kind of like that too, like other stuff, or just
that's primarily it, because it's within the school and easy to get to and attend the meetings. I'm also part of our NOAA program. I forgot about that.
Nice.
Yeah, I was recently joined that, and what we do is there's a research project along with Stockton and a few other people, and we'll go out on the boat and we'll collect crab pots that have been abandoned and take them out of the water, because what will happen is you'll get fish and turtles, the terrapins, and other organisms that will swim into the crab pots, but because no one's picking them up, they can't get out, so they're just stuck in there to die basically. And
didn't know that people actually abandon them. Well,
They don't abandon them, but because of weather and storms and
well, yeah, they get
other
floated around
uncontrollable
somewhere.
things. Yeah, they'll get floated around, cut from the line. So
It sucks.
yeah, they've collected hundreds of them from the Barnegat Bay alone.
Save some terrapin lives.
Yeah, yeah.
That's really cool. Good for you guys. That's awesome.
Thank you.
So then, since you're doing all this environmental stuff and actions and activities, where do you plan on going for for your college career? But where do you see yourself when you graduate? How do you see yourself? What do you plan on accomplishing in the future?
So we'll see where it goes with marine science and stuff. What I really want to do is chemical engineering or something with engineering and chemistry in general, because I really like those subjects and really interested in those with the biodiesel project. So I enjoyed that one a lot. So.
Helping our planet go green.
Yes.
That's awesome.
With all the green chemistry and movement and stuff.
That it is. Here's the green world.
Yes.
Alright, well that is the end of our show. Thank you so much for being on the show again.
Yes, thank you for having me.
No, thanks for telling us about the whole biodiesel stuff and what you've been doing. That's awesome. I hope you do really good in the future with it. I really hope you accomplish more than you plan to. And thank you for being on the show.
Thank you
for being on the drink.